From Wayward Social in Marshalltown, this is Bobcat Live.
Welcome in. I was playing a little bit third base coach there as we kick off the final Spring Bobcat Live, our inaugural season in the spring, and spring has sprung. It is beautiful. Senioritis is in full effect, as you can see Jacob Hayes sprinting in as the show. It's as if you've never been on before, but I'm joined, of course, with Coach James Christensen, along with Kyle Smith and Jacob Hayes. We're going to talk a little bit of boys tennis. Last night, a little bit too windy for those North Central Riverhawks, so they postponed Mason City matchup to today. Did not go into your favor, but that's a really good Mason City team.
Yeah, absolutely. They were just about a half position better than us, pretty much all the way down the lineup. We ended up getting a good victory from Elliot Cotis at 2, but they're a very senior-laden team. I think 7 of their 8 guys are seniors, so we look forward to seeing them again next year.
And when you look at that, Kyle, I'll talk to you and Jacob about this, is you're supposed to have it yesterday, and then they shift it. You're there in the morning. It isn't next door. It's a couple-hour drive. Kyle, we'll start with you. How does that affect your approach to get ready, or is it just business as usual?
For me, it's kind of is the same thing for myself. I have the same mindset to go into every match and try and win it. But, I was kind of a little upset yesterday after I heard it was canceled, because I know that win would definitely help us for sure and kind of give us that advantage that we needed. But, at the end of the day, they're a good tennis team, and, there's not much we can really do when they got that talent like that. But I'm always going to go out there and compete no matter what, so.
And Jacob, for you, just changing that, having to switch your idea, and even a day of school is much different when you move that past. You don't even have a chance to get the goggles off as you get in. How does that affect you getting that delayed a day?
To be honest, I was a little bit happy because I'm not good enough to adjust to the wind. So.
Well, that's a great point, though, because you and I have talked about is first year in, you find yourself kind of in that 4-hole in doubles and really adjusting to going out for fun, now going out that you're going to compete no matter what, but it counts at the varsity level, and as you've had to step up, and as competition, I know we were talking, is the depth of the rosters as we've had the season go on. What has been your biggest adjustment?
Probably just the speed of the game. It's kind of a whole new level, especially when you play these better teams. It's where they're hitting the ball a lot harder, and they're moving around a lot more, and their communication is a lot better, where you have to just kind of figure out how they work when the match starts.
And, Coach, I know you guys shot out of a cannon early in this year, but you knew the weight of the schedule was on the back half. You had a really good showing, real close with Waverly Shell Rock, that 5-6. That's a very good team. Taken a little bit of lumps since then, some 1-10, 3-8, 4-7. Where are you seeing, just matching up team-wise, where the Bobcats need to improve?
Well, first of all, it would have been really nice to intersperse some of these tough teams throughout the season, and unfortunately, weather got in the way of that. Ended up playing most of our good competition right at the end. And those things kind of just stack on top of each other. We had a lot of very difficult teams right in a row. We played 3 matches in 3 days. That's tough on guys. I think the guys have held up pretty well. I think we've come out of the regular season without too many bumps and bruises. Our shoulders and elbows and everything are feeling pretty good. As for what we can do in the future, we've got individual districts this Saturday and team on Wednesday. We just need to focus on playing our game. We've gotten into playing Johnston and Ames, where we're trying to emulate what they're doing sometimes. Whereas we need to play Bobcat tennis, which is kind of a different breed. We're blessed to have a ton of multi-sport athletes. I don't get to have these guys 12 months a year like a lot of guys do at other schools. So we rely on our athleticism, our competitiveness, and typically play a slightly different brand of tennis.
Kyle, I think that's a good point, is, talking about multisport, using that athleticism and trying to get back to basics and learning from those losses. How much does it help as you focus in Saturday being at home? Does that help you more settle into your normal routine than maybe on the road, just trying to catch up or try to respond to what's happening?
I mean, yeah, being at home, it's always going to give you the advantage, what the court's like, what's going to go on when you're playing. So, when you're at home, you don't have to go on a 2-hour bus trip either, which helps as well. So, yeah, when you're at home, it's definitely a huge advantage for yourself and for the whole team.
Yeah, my wife says there's 2 trips she won't make every year. One starts with Fort, ends with Dodge. The other one is Mason City, and we even have family up there. That's how much she doesn't want to go to Mason City on those 2-hour bus rides. So, Jacob, as you wrap up your season, is this a sport that you've kind of fallen in love with? See, like, hey, I can play this more, maybe not that competitive level, but just enjoying what has tennis and being a part of this team really brought to you in your experience?
It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed, just going out and being able to actually play the game now without wanting to break my racket every time I hit the ball because I smoked the fence. So it's been nice to be able to actually play the game and not just be absolutely awful.
So James, will give you the floor. Talk about, these 2 seniors have been a part of your program for different lengths of time. Some have cost you more rackets than others. But can you just say something about these 2 seniors sitting to your left?
Yeah, I don't think I've had a guy break. Between these 2 guys, they broke three racket frames last week.
Last week.
None of them out of anger, just some weird situations there. But all of my seniors, these 2 guys included, have been phenomenal to work with over the last 1 to 4 years. We've had a long tradition of having guys come out, maybe later in life, their friends, have a good time as a freshman, sophomore, and then junior and senior year they'll pick it up. And come in and contribute right away like Jacob did, going all the way back to a guy like Blake Gimble, who is our number 3 player as a senior. So, these guys are really special. They'll always have a place in my heart. They've done a great job showing our young players how to practice, how to show up, how to deal with defeat, how to deal with victory. And I think that they'll have a lasting legacy on our guys moving forward.
All righty. Thank you guys very much. And when we come back, girls golf, I wore the polo today. They brought the Thunder, added some championship hardware. We're going to talk girls golf when we come back, get a talk with Coach Johnson along with Hannah Osgood and Avery Pauley. You're watching Bobcat Live here at Wayward Social.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
Big news from your local insurance team in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines. Assured Partners is now Gallagher Insurance, Risk Management, and Consulting. You'll still work with the same local people you know and trust. Now backed by the strength and global resources of Gallagher, a trusted name for nearly 100 years. More expertise, more solutions, stronger protection. Because we're stronger together. Stop by your local office today and discover the power of Gallagher.
Scooter's Coffee is going bananas, literally. Treat yourself to banana bread hot or iced lattes, creamy latte blenders, and fresh banana bread muffins. Need something refreshing? Sip a berry spritz soda, light, bubbly, and perfect any time of day. Craving cozy? Try salted caramel waffle lattes, hot or iced, or a smooth sea salt caramelicious as a latte, cold brew, or blender. And don't forget the French toasty sandwich, warm, sweet, and satisfying. Plus, Cinnalicious drinks are here for a limited time. Scooter's Coffee, amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast.
Welcome back in. We are here with girls golf. It's been fun in the spring following along, being able to talk to you every other week and really seeing the season unfold. A lot of really great things happening out there on the greens, but we're here with a freshman and also with Hannah Osgood. And Hannah, you are a junior, correct? Hannah's grandpa was my high school history teacher, so I'm always like, I am getting old. But you're looking here, the back end of really scoring, really with these girls. Yes, you have Morgan Hildebrand. Yes, you have Harper Wilson. Yes, Emily Clausen's done really well. We've been able to talk all of them. But getting this out of Hannah as a junior and then Avery as a freshman, how much has that meant to you?
Yeah, we've talked about it all season long. You're as good as your fourth scorer, and these guys have been kind of trading back and forth on who can bring that fourth score, and so for us to have that consistency up and down the lineup has been great. Hannah coming through with a great round yesterday to be a second team all conference was awesome.
How did that feel? That second team all conference, being able to really put a big score on the card for the team?
It felt very surreal, honestly. Like, I know that I was doing kind of well during the round, but when I saw my score after, it like kind of shocked me. It was a very surreal moment. And
when you're hitting and you know, when, as you said, you're like, this is kind of going well. I'm kind of in a groove. What hole were you on when that groove kind of hit?
I mean, I shot out of the gun and was doing pretty well the first couple of holes, and I kind of just stayed consistent throughout the round, so I think that really helped me for sure.
Nice. And before we get too far into that, you know, Monday it wasn't quite the result you wanted down at CIML. If you would have hit the score you did on Tuesday, that would have put you in third place. You get to Tuesday and you just light up the course, shoot a 358, win the conference by 12 strokes. What does it tell? Your team has been so consistent, but from Monday to Tuesday, the amount of resiliency they showed. What did that show to you as a coach?
Exactly. Golf's a game where you have to have a short memory, and we talk about it all the time. It's the next shot. It's not what you did 3 holes ago. You can't dwell on it.
Yep.
And these guys both did a great job of that, you know, flushing what happened on Monday and getting right back at it on Tuesday, because we had a long day out there. It was a long round, and the girls did a great job just coming out and ready to fire on Tuesday.
Yeah, and you make a great point. You know, Monday, not so much. Tuesday, locked in on all cylinders. And, you know, Avery, they often say sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. And that happens. And, CJ, you owe me a drink there, because I able to work that in pretty seamlessly. But as a freshman, your scoring mattered. What was your mindset coming in? Of course, you come from a lot of golfing, from a golf family. When you were coming into your freshman year, what was your anticipation? What was your expectation for your game this year?
Just going out and like learning the game. Like, I didn't have a ton of experience, so just starting off and just getting going and getting my groove.
And so you take that from getting out there, getting on the course, and now you're already near the end of the year. You're a part of a conference championship team. Did this year exceed or kind of meet the expectations you had as a team and then for yourself?
As a team, it's definitely like exceeded it. I wasn't expecting to come out with like what we did, but as a person, like me playing, I've definitely done better like with ball flight and everything. Yeah. Score, like, it's could be worse, could be better. Like, trying my best is all that matters.
Yeah, and then, Hannah, you look at May 20th as you guys look to continue to move forward. You have that conference championship. That's awesome. We'll look at that, talk about that for years to come. But for May 20th, it doesn't matter what you just did. How do you get ready for the 20th?
I think it really helps that we're at home. I feel like we know the course very well. It gives us a lot of an advantage, especially with a lot of the girls on the team were the same team that freshman year we went to state. So I think it's honestly just locking in and working at the course and really knowing the course. That'll help us a lot.
Yeah, and then, Coach Johnson, as we look at this, you're over at the Legion. What does that do from just getting prepped for that? Maybe not just the mindset when you're on the course on the 20th, but what, from a coaching perspective, does it mean for you when you know you're playing at home here in just a week?
Well, it just makes our practices that much more focused, knowing that every hole that we play out there is preparing us for Wednesday. We can only control what we can control. We don't get to choose which teams come and play, but we can control how we attack the course and how we prepare. And so that's been the message this week.
All righty, and Avery, just looking between, you have a week in between. What is your mindset knowing that, all right, I've gotten through the season, but now it's really has a lot of stakes at it? What mentality do you have as a player just getting ready for the Legion on the 20th?
I think doing the stuff I'm not good at, like my short game needs a lot of improvement. So Legion greens are like easier to chip on because they're not as fast. So really working on the short game, getting the greens down.
And then, Coach Johnson, just for people that are maybe new more to the golf side, when you look at the Legion course, what are a couple of the things that make it difficult, and what are the things that you think maybe you can score well on?
Well, I think on the front nine, that opening stretch of 1, 2, and 3 definitely tests the game. 2 is a hole that golfers feel like just is a long hole, and then it opens up for some birdie opportunities as you get into that back nine. 12 and 15, both par 5s that are reachable in 2 for most of our team. And so knowing when to play smart and knowing when to put your foot on the gas pedal is going to be key in putting together a good round on Wednesday.
And then is there a score that you're looking for, a team score there? Is that the way you approach it, or are you looking, because there's so many different elements that come into a golf course? Is it windy? Is it rainy? Is it whatever?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You have to take what the day gives you. We don't know what the weather is going to be like. We don't know what the rough is going to be like. And so we just play the course as it comes and know that we can't get too caught up in what other players are doing. We just have to play our own game.
Fantastic. Again, that is May 20th with an opportunity for Bobcat girls to again extend a very special season. Thank you very much, Hannah and Avery. First time on Bobcat Live. Great to have you on there. Jay, again, you owe me a drink because I was able to throw that in. When we come back, we are going to talk to a red-hot Bobcat soccer team has picked up their 11th win and have a big season finale against Cedar Rapids Prairie tomorrow night when we come back on Bobcat Live.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear, including Hoka, Brooks, On Cloud, Birkenstock, and Taos. Brown's Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and more. They carry multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff will take the time to give you the service you deserve. Brown's Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
When you're craving something quick, tasty, and satisfying, think your Marshalltown Dairy Queens. From hot made-to-order favorites like burgers, chicken strips, and fries to the Dairy Queen classics you love, blizzards, cones, sundaes, and shakes. Be sure to check out the monthly featured treats and limited-time favorites, always giving you something new to try. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a sweet treat, just because. Your Marshalltown Dairy Queens has you covered. 2 convenient locations, South Center Street and North 3rd Avenue in Marshalltown, where happy tastes good every day.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
We are back in. This is, I will tell you, senioritis, end of school year. We got people running in and out. In basketball, they call timeouts for substitutions. In soccer, they do it as well. Hockey, they jump over. And this feels very much hockey. We're just jumping over the side. We got people hopping in. We're making it every segment, just have somebody show up. And this time it's going to be Aaron Ordaz. Of course, we're also with Chris Nunez, the keeper, and head coach Scott Johannes. We have 11 wins on this year with a team that's won 7 in a row. Really, you're building. You could tell you thought this team could be good early, and now you're starting to stack wins. What are you noticing as these wins continue to roll in?
The trust between the guys and just in playing better. moving the ball just a little more quicker amongst the players. So just getting that through.
And then you look at looking at that 11-4. You've got Cedar Rapids Prairie, a very, very good team coming up. But one thing I noticed, and I think I was watching Chris maybe a couple years ago, had just a really good game in the box. What can you say just his growth as a keeper and what that means for Bobcat soccer?
I don't know if I'll spill some beans here on Chris or not, but we've had some conversations on this, and he had his college plans kind of planned, and then a couple weeks into the season, he's like, man, maybe I'll do this a little bit different, and so not to give any pressure on him on that, but that's kind of where it is. It's like, hey, let's just see where it goes, and he's a very calming keeper, so that's what's nice is he doesn't let things really rattling.
Yeah, well, you notice is just like sometimes when people jump on here, they're a little bit nervous. Cool as the other side of the pillow, as Stuart Scott used to say. No, not phasing them whatsoever.
That's right.
But you look at that, Chris, you talk about seven wins in a row, some really good defensive play, and, of course, the keeper gets a lot of the credit that. But what would you say from your perspective on that back end of looking at the success of the Bobcat defense?
Well, a lot of it comes, you have to trust your defense, obviously, so a big part of it's having trust in my defense and in my midfield as well, because ultimately they're behind them. So if I can't play my defense, then I have to trust my midfield. If I can't trust my midfield, I have to trust the strikers, You just have to trust the whole team, and I think trust plays a big part of that. And I think just our trust in each other is a big part of our success.
Well, and then you look to your left, and there's a pretty trustworthy guy there at the end. You look at Aaron. Aaron, you've had a really good season with a different mindset than the keeper, of course, trying to make the other keeper's life a little bit miserable. How has your season unfolded, and what's just the feeling in the locker room right now of really seeing these wins just pile on?
I think as a whole we are more connected, and it's different because this year I don't have all the goals,
Yep.
It's spread out between us, and it's a lot easier for me because we have players that can score more.
Yeah, and Scott, from that perspective of sometimes I remember in the basketball season, Coach Apple talked a lot about Kyle Smith's stats were down, but his efficiency was up, and from a team perspective, that's better. You hear Aaron talk stats may be down, but that's not a negative as maybe somebody just reading a box score. That's actually a positive because it's being spread out.
Oh, absolutely. Look at last night's game. Played a very good Ottumwa game team. 5-1, and our two leaders didn't even score. But yet what they did on the field, you can't take away. I mean, they controlled the midfield. Ottumwa didn't have the ball. We had it. And we always give the credit to Aaron for able to lead that. His little brother kind of rides his coattails, we think, a little bit. But at the same time, it's him leading that center part that controls and able to open up some, because we look at it, it's like, man, for so long everybody's looking at Aaron. Where's Aaron? In the scouting reports, you got to know where he is. And now we've got 4 guys with 10 goals, or more, and so it's like, where are we going to score from? So that's nice.
That's fantastic, especially when you get into that scout. And then, so Chris, as you get prepped for a very good Cedar Rapids Prairie team, your mindset just in the box there, when you've got a high-level opponent coming in, how are you thinking through getting yourself prepped for that match?
Honestly, I think about it as every team is the same. Every team has the same. Every team is as dangerous as the next, in my opinion. As long as you let your guard down, any team can do anything against you. So I think it's be on your toes and be ready for anything.
100%, and exactly what you want to hear from, especially from your keeper.
Oh, yeah.
So Aaron, you're getting in final game of the season, and do you feel like it's an advantage to play a really high caliber team before you get into postseason play?
Yeah, this is an
an important game for us to see where we really stand as a team, and I think Prairie is a good team for us to really realize where we are this season.
Yeah, and you look at that measuring stick, Scott, and we know that the pairings have been released. The third seed, you've got to travel to Dowling. Dowling is 4-4 and 603 ties or whatever it is. You guys all sit at 11. First seed is Roosevelt. Fourth is Waukee in that. Knowing that you have Dowling on the other side of it, do you plan, is there anything added, it being the last match of the season, that you're trying to work through to get you prepped for the Dowling match, or are you just really status quo as is?
We just, the last few weeks, well, we've strived to do it all season long, just really take one match at a time. We are thinking about Dowling, but at the same time, it's one of those things. We have to take care of business tomorrow night. We're not looking at, hey, we can save these guys. We have 2 weeks off. We haven't had 2 weeks off since the beginning of the season. We haven't had a week off, so to think about, hey, we got 2 weeks to get ready for one match. Okay, we got that.
You feel good. And then, thinking, gentlemen, Dowling, 7 less losses or wins as you all, and you have to travel down there. This seems to be a prime opportunity to kind of put some more respect on the Iowa Lions and things. And when that matchup came out, you have to go down to Dowling. What was your first thought, Chris?
Honestly, I didn't care.
Yep.
Honestly, first thought is we need to get the win, and we just need to come out on top no matter what.
Aaron, how about you?
Obviously, it's not as strong of a team as Dowling. This is probably the weakest team in the recent years, but we can't overlook them. If they want it, they can get it, but we have to want it as well.
Yeah, you, Coach, I think it feels like you have about the most level-headed group of kids around. It's got to be a coach's dream.
It is, and we've worked hard at that. I mean, we do, but at the same time, with these guys, they both started out with at the beginning of the year just to do what they needed to do to improve as a team and make the guys around them better. And so as we're kind of hearing what they're thinking is right through that. That's been their goal all along. And, it hasn't been any bad blood in the locker room, as other guys have chased Aaron, trying to catch him in the goal category. It's not like, oh, man, tonight's my night. I have to get some. He knows he's creating those opportunities. And if you'll see, he's one of the first ones over there, whoever's scoring, cheering them on and get them high fives and whatever, So.
Fantastic. Again, Bobcats picked up their 11th win, 5-1 drubbing of Ottumwa. They've got a really good ranked program in Cedar Rapids Prairie, and then Dowling down the road. Congrats on a good season so far, but I know, gentlemen, you're nowhere near where you want to be by the end of it. And when we come back, we are going to stay on the pitch, but we are going to go with girls Bobcats. We got a great opportunity to talk some more soccer when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
Eat at Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and support the Bobcats when you order the Bobcat Burger. 2 juicy quarter-pound beef patties stacked with crispy bacon, sautéed onions, and a mouth-watering blend of American, cheddar, Jack, and Swiss cheeses, all on a toasted bun with fresh shredded lettuce. And here's the best part. $1 from every Bobcat burger sold goes to Marshalltown High School activities. Satisfy your burger craving and support the Bobcats at the same time. Only at Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Gear up for game day with Adlet Engraving and Screen Print. Spring and summer sports are here. We have you covered with apparel, awards, embroidery, with many options and ideas. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Easy parking, delivery is available.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live, and we are outside on an absolutely gorgeous night. We're staying on the pitch. We're going to talk a little bit of girls soccer. Girls soccer stands at 7-7-1. We're with Coach Cameron Naring along with Kira Halstead and Sophia Valdez. Coach, 7-7. This season's been a learning curve, a lot of good things happening. Where do you estimate your team's at right now?
I think we're doing pretty good. We're getting things completed. We just need to find the back of the net. Last night we did everything right. We just couldn't find the back of the net, but the crosses were there, corner kicks were there, communication, connections, it was all there.
And Kira, thinking about that, soccer is such an interesting sport, and the fact that there's a handful of opportunities and you can play a perfect game, and those handful of opportunities, if you don't find the back of the net, it can look like a loss. What is, in your mindset, when those things aren't happening? Is that a frustration, or do you have to push through it? How do you approach that, where everything seems to be you're doing the right thing but not getting the right result?
I just think you have to just keep pushing through it until you can find the back of the net.
And then, Sophia, your job often is so they don't find the back of the net. Flipping it from that perspective, defensively, finding kind of your footing there. How has this season and your development really gone through this year?
I think it's gone good. It's a new formation, so definitely like a learning curve for sure.
And so when you're talking a new formation, for some people that their experience with soccer is maybe as a parent sitting on the sidelines and just cheering, but somebody that may not be as adept knowing the ins and outs of it, how big of a difference is it when there's a total formation as a keeper? Because you stay, you're in that same piece, but how your defense is set is different. How much of an adjustment did that take you?
Not much, for sure. The only adjusting was probably like knowing who's that defending for sure, and how to talk to them and how to make them good for sure.
And so, Coach, when you hear, Sophia talk about really her adjustment and really has had a spectacular year, a really good year in the net, what do you see from a coach's perspective as she matures and grows as a player?
I've seen that she's been able to come out of the box more and being able to vocalize that she wants the ball, and being able to tell her defense to back off and let her get it. She's come out of her box quite a few times now, and it's definitely done us some really good opportunities that we've scored off. One of them where it was just she kicked it up high enough that we got it through the middle and got up and scored. So it was really good adjustments, and she's doing very well with it.
And you look at that, just the confidence to, kind of roam a little bit further, not feel so much like that. How valuable is that when your keeper feels the sense that, okay, I can go engage a little bit outside of the periphery? How important is that for you?
I think very important, so that knowing that she can also then become a defender at some point, that she doesn't need to sit in that box. She can come out and also be a defender at the same time.
And then, looking at Kira as a junior, multiple sport athlete, but just look at what she brings to the pitch. What can you say about her game?
She's always on the backside. She's always there. You just don't realize she's there until she's like, the ball's right there in front of her and it's a goal. It never a doubt. That's how all her goals have been scored this year. She's perfect placement and is right there and the ball goes in.
Kind of like a soccer ninja?
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Is that basically what it is? Yeah, so Kira Halstead, the soccer ninja. I like it. You could sell T-shirts. So, Kira, again, coaching change, getting comfortable in the program, still a lot of the same girls around, some switch, of course. How do you feel sitting at 7-7 with where you are in the season? How are you looking at this year so far?
I feel like we've done pretty well. Like, we've played with each other for a while, so I feel like we just go together really well.
And so you have a Grinnell match coming up, I believe May 18th. As you're looking to that, you guys have a few days to get prepped for that. Kira, what does Grinnell bring to the table?
Well, if we just stay consistent and use communication, then I think that we can beat them.
And then you look, Coach, from a Grinnell perspective, capping off the year, and it's a really interesting because your record sits at a weird, you're right at 500. This is an opportunity to feel different about the year. How much weight do you put on this Grinnell game coming up?
I would say 50-50. I mean, every game's 50-50. Every chance is to win and lose. So as long as we're out there with the good mindset of this is our game, we can win it, there's no chance that we can't win. So.
Well, then we might as well just win. That's
exactly.
my philosophy. If you can, you might as well
exactly.
do it. So Bobcats look to go 8-7 on May 18th against Grinnell. Thank you very much, Cameron. It's been awesome following you.
Yeah.
And my producer likes to be in front of the camera and shouting, it's on KFJB-TV. So if you can't get out there, you can at least watch on KFJB-TV with Brandon Lewis on the call as the Bobcats seek to go 8-7. And so when we come back, we're going to flip it over to baseball. We get on the bump. Baseball is almost back. Practice is in full effect. And broadcast and games coming soon. When we come back, we'll talk to the head man, Colton Hankey, along with Trey Gilliland and Luke Stalzer on KFJB-TV.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, you're more than a member, you're family. Since 1948, we've been helping members and their families save more, borrow smarter, and reach their financial goals. Whether it's a low-rate auto loan, a mortgage that feels manageable, or simply a savings account that grows with you, we're here to make banking simple and stress-free. Discover the credit union difference today. Visit Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main in Marshalltown, where people helping people is more than a motto, it's who we are. Learn more at lennoxecu.com. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to talk the boys of summer. We've got baseball back with Bobcat headman Colton Hankey along with Luke Stalzer and Trey Gilliland. Coach, you're getting ready. This is year 3, right? Already at year 3? Am I right on that?
Yep, year 3.
And so you're looking at getting that, building that up. You've had to play younger players throughout. You're now getting into practice. Off-season workouts have culminated. Now you're really in it. Where do you see the team so far?
I mean, it's kind of night and day going from the past couple of years. The first 2 years, you're kind of setting that blueprint. And then I think the biggest thing that's kind of stuck out so far is that first year we had enough for the varsity team and a few extras, but not enough to fulfill a second team. But then now last year we had enough for varsity and lower level. And as of right now, we're sitting to have 3 different levels, and that's probably the biggest highlight so far. And it's been awesome.
And that is huge.
Yes.
You know, you're looking at building a culture back is more than having one season. It's building those levels back. So can you point to something of why it's gone from that ability to 1 to 3 teams? Are there a couple key individuals, a couple key things that you've put in or others have helped put into the culture to help that grow again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of starts with this group here too, because when I was the first year, they were freshmen, and I told them from the get-go that it's going to be rough, and it takes a group to stick it out and just give it a chance for more than 1 year, and they've done that, and that's kind of like our bigger group for upperclassmen, and then things have been just kind of rolling off of that. Youth-wise has been going phenomenal. Little League is ramping up more and more, and the numbers are growing there. So that's the feeder program, and that's where it starts. And it takes guys like Luke and Gilly to continue building on the culture that we've set up so far.
Yeah, Luke, you've been playing and playing in second base and really looking to make that happen. As you've grown, you hear Coach Hankey talk about it. Now in year 3, where have you seen the development from you as a player, but also just the team, seeing more guys out, being able to see, do some more situational things, maybe even some pickup type games? What have you seen?
Kind of building off what Coach said, I think just seeing the numbers grow is one of the best things that we have going for us right now. And I think as an individual, I think just knowing how I can contribute to the team the most and knowing my role on the team and how I can help the team, I think that's one of the things I've learned over these 3 years now. So.
Yeah, and then you look at it, and you may or may not know, Luke has definitely got a voice for radio, has done some of that. I got a chance with some FFA stuff to hear you. You've got a gift for it, so maybe call some baseball games moving down. Now, all right, I'm going to call you Gilly because it's already been said, so that's what we're going to go with. Yep. I've really enjoyed our off-season conversations. I guess I said you don't throw as hard as Sam Griesel, and you heard that. So what's the fastball hitting at right now?
Well, the fastball right now, not quite as high as a guy like Sam Griesel, he's a stud, but probably around high 60s, low 70s, around there probably right now.
So you're really important from just that pitching level, and I talk about this a lot since they shifted COVID. Now everything's a doubleheader, so pitching becomes so important as you look to be one of the established starters on there, established pitchers. What's your mindset? You had Xander Stupp as kind of, and Sam, and those guys that have pitched a little bit that you could rely on. Now you're in that role. What do you see in your game growing to meet that level?
For me, it's just been kind of have a quick memory, not dwell on pitches that I might have missed on my spots. A big part of it also was learning from those upperclassmen that I've had in the past, guys like Sam, Xander, Taven, even Caleb Kusero my freshman year. Just having guys like that to support me and help build my pitching game, that's been crucial for me.
And Luke, you said that you have some years under your belt, so now you're a leader. You're a leader by voice, by example. What are your individual goals this year, and what do you see in year 3 under coach for team goals?
As a team, I think just staying competitive and staying in that mindset that we're not out of games until the game's over. I think in the past years, that's something that's gotten to us is we see us go down maybe 3-0 and we're like, oh, that's game. So I think just staying competitive and staying out there and wanting to play, wanting that ball to come to you and make the next play, I think that's going to be crucial for us this season.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. Like you were saying, want the ball, come to you, want it, because there'd be times where when you have a couple fielding mishaps, the ball just seems to find you every single time off the bat. But yeah, definitely seeing growth there. Coach is talking to some of your 8th graders that had started and played a lot last year, now in 9th grade coming in, and I was asking Matt, and I go, what's the big difference? He's like, last year fielding I could do just pitch and trying to hit, I couldn't see anything, and then coming into practice he himself is seeing I'm seeing the ball better from the batter's box. What are you hoping for those kids that played in that 8th grade, 9th grade, and now have a year of varsity under their belt, and now hopefully being able to produce?
I mean, it's a huge step when the 8th graders are able to get kind of their feet in the water for that 8th grade year, and then I tried telling them and emphasizing that you now have 4 years after this year to be at the varsity level, as long as you can continue to compete and be consistent with your work ethic, and like Luke was saying, was you got to keep wanting more and more and not be complacent with where you're at, because you are getting varsity innings at the 8th grade level, but it's a huge chance for you to grow with your whole high school career now from freshman to senior year.
And then you hear Gilly talk, you hear Luke talk. What have these two gentlemen meant, and what do you see for the overall season, how important they are for your success?
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it takes a group to be consistent, and it takes your upperclassmen to do what they're supposed to do. Names thrown out there like Coos and Griesel and Stupp, and the the guys that have stuck out in years past have been true mentors and leaders to these guys, and so now it's their role to take up and carry on the torch to the younger guys, so that the guys like the Taties and the Maddens and that crew will then continue to pass on future.
Yeah, because the great thing is when numbers get bigger and you have those people that pave the way, they become really important building blocks to get Marshalltown baseball to where we want it to be and where it has been in past, and it's due to, your vision, intention, but also to the young men to your left. Looking forward really to covering you guys again this year. It's always a lot of fun. There's a lot worse things to do in the summer than hang out on a baseball diamond.
Right.
So when we come back, we're not going to talk baseball diamond. We're going to talk softball diamond. We'll get a chance to talk to the new head coach for the Marshalltown Bobcats, along with Bradley Danielson and Olivia Wise, here on KFJB-TV.
Gear up for game day with Adlet Engraving and Screen Print. Spring and summer sports are here. We have you covered with apparel, awards, embroidery, with many options and ideas. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Easy parking, delivery is available.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Hey, we are back outside at Wayward Social. It's quick hitting. I said I'll turn it off at 10 seconds. Immediately we're at 7 seconds. So nothing like that to get you real energized for your first Bobcat Live. Head coach Madeline Dahlke, along with Bradley Danielson and Olivia Wise. But Madeline, I'd love to give you just a few seconds. I know we've had press releases of you coming on board, but I'd love for you to just share with Bobcat Nation a little bit about your background to get into this moment as the head girls softball coach at Marshalltown.
It's pretty interesting. I came in just doing volleyball with Jen, and then I have Olivia's brother is one of my students. So that's how I got involved with Bobcat softball.
Oh, okay.
And I did their fall ball, and then this opened up, and it was exactly what I wanted to do. So that's how I got here.
And so you get here. The Wise family puts you to work is basically how I heard that. So you come by it honestly. So good job, good recruiting, Olivia, along with Liz. I see Liz out there as well. So, but you're coming into a situation, 19-21, one of the highest win totals, very close to that 500 for the Cats. When you come in to kind of put your own stamp on something as a head coach coming in to the program, what are your big focuses coming into the season?
Yeah, so we're looking back not just to last year, but all the way to 2013, which was the last time we had a winning season. So we're striving for that, but also Bobcat softball has to be rebuilt from the ground up and focusing on who we are, not just as athletes, but who we are as people. And so we're really trying to change the culture in the softball program and build great women.
Yeah, and the sports are there. In my opinion, I think sports are the best thing about. Yes, it matters, the competition out there, but like what it builds in you, what it makes you is a big deal. But I'll tell you, where the Cats covering them last year, where they always committed and always competed, is Bradley Danielson when she was in the circle, 11-9. and it really felt like you found your groove last year. You can hit it a little bit too, but really when you were in the circle, Cats always had a chance. What do you think your growth was in the circle last year to really compete with every pitch?
I think that just the more I practice, like the more I was in the mindset during the game. Obviously, I still get a bit nervous. Like it takes me a couple of innings to get it, but I just have to have the right mindset.
And the big thing was, I thought last year your control really took a jump up from the year before. Not as many free bases. Now you're looking into this year again, number one in that starting pitching. What do you think the growth is from last year to this year in your approach to the game?
I definitely think that we've been doing a lot more like pitching at practice, so that's going to make it easier for when it comes to games, and like building the stamina now for when we have to play in like the heat, and just all like the drills we do that helps with like speed and just accuracy.
And Olivia, I thought it was your season last year. What impressed me, you did hit over 300 from the plate, but I thought, knowing you played more third base growing up and then moving over to second base, it seemed like a pretty effortless transition. I thought you really fielded your position well. What did you see out of last year in your growth as a player?
Well, we practiced a lot more of the plays between first and second, and me throwing it to Kate at short. So just practicing and having those daily routines really helped.
And so as you transition from a track mindset, getting into a softball mindset, coming in, now will be your second year of really playing a lot. What is it as a player this year that you think is the best opportunity for you to grow that next level as a player?
Well, I really have to step into that leader role, especially because we have such a young team. So I need to not take the reps off, always doing what I'm supposed to, and listening.
And so, Coach, you're always going to get the right coach answers and kid answers up here. But knowing Olivia talks, young team, new coach, how important are the leaders like Briley, those upperclassmen, to help install kind of the culture you want to build?
Yeah, it starts with our upperclassmen because our upperclassmen is such a large class. We either have a lot of juniors and a lot of 8th graders and then a few stragglers in the middle. But they work really well together, and I will say our older girls have been doing a really good job of taking the younger girls under their wings, being throwing partners, hitting with them, working with them. We have like 7 11th graders. So it's every single one of them. And then a lot of good communication. There's a lot of girls at practice who are really good communicators and cheering girls on.
And so are you a coach that kind of likes to look big picture and then down, or right in front of you and then just stack those and build out? How do you see the finish in mind, or do you just see that next day?
Well, we have the finish in mind, but we only go day by day.
And so when you're only going by day, your first season, do you have an understanding of what you think success is for this team this year?
Ideally, a winning season.
Yes.
But also, I want them to have fun. I think that's something that we've really struggled with in this program in the past, is the girls being comfortable to be who they are and the girls having fun with each other. And it's a high school softball team. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable. We want them to remember it as a good experience.
And Bradley, hearing that, and a key leader in making that happen, how excited are you, and as you're looking at this year, your goal?
I am very excited to help the underclassmen, and my goal is just to lead the team to win more games and be successful.
Olivia? You can't say be more successful because that's been taken. What's your goal for this year as you move forward?
To try and build up our younger classmen so they get that experience as they're younger, and then when they do get up to their higher years, they will be ready for it.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to the first year. Softball's a lot of fun, and if you have not been out on the new bleachers, it's even better to sit out at a softball game this year. Much more comfortable out there at the Bobcat softball complex. Looking forward to following along this year, getting to broadcast a few games. When we come back, we're going to talk track as they try to make their march to state, and we will talk with the boys track team, Cade Randall, Miles Goldman, and Coach Bob Gilbertson when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
At Marshalltown Community School District, students don't just prepare for the future, they shape it. Embrace the lead. From academic excellence to college and career readiness, our schools support every student's journey. With strong student support, a wide range of extracurricular opportunities, engaging fine arts programs, and hands-on learning experiences. There's something here for everyone. Marshalltown Community School District, where they embrace the lead to ensure success tomorrow.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Welcome into Bobcat Live. We're here with the boys track team. A lot of thumbs up from off camera, and I'll give thumbs up on camera because we're here with Coach Bob Gilbertson, along with Miles Goldman and Cade Randall. Cade and I are fast old friends. We've done this a few times. But, Coach, you're getting very, very close. Qualifying state meets coming up. Looking at the season as a whole, now getting into stripping away anything extra. Now it's time for placement and times. Where are you as a coach and as a team as a whole?
I think we as a coaching staff are very excited about the possibilities that we have tomorrow night. We have a lot of great opportunities to qualify some guys for state individually and in relays, and they've put a lot of hard work in, so it's time to see just how fast we can go.
And you guys are down at Waukee Northwest tomorrow night, and last time you were there, it was not warm. Waukee Northwest, if you've not been to their track, it's like Latin for miserable, yes, is the way that wind comes down. How does that affect, the track distances are the same, but the layouts are different?
Yeah, you're just hoping that for our sprinters that run the ones and the hurdles and the two, that they're going to have a little bit of a tailwind. That always helps a little bit. It is nice there, at least it is down in the hole a little bit, so it does block some of that wind. And we tell the guys, come prepared, come with, layers and gloves and even hats sometimes. Yeah,
you're not allowed to wear strawberry hats but you can wear them before
Correct.
your race.
Correct.
So Miles, you just ran there recently. You're going to go back there and run. How is it helpful as a runner to see that track beforehand, or does it really not matter to you?
Nah, not really at all, to be honest. It's nice to know whether the track's a high quality one, like the turf, but That's really about it.
So what is, as you go in, looking at running your race, what's going through your mind right now? Thinking I don't want to be talking to Dylan. I've heard him enough. I'd rather be focusing, or what's going on in your head?
Definitely just a little nervous, I guess. We have a good shot in the 4x8, so hopefully we can get that in, but definitely nerves are high, thinking about just staying on top of my health and stuff, trying to stay healthy and eating good, sleeping good, drinking water and stuff. So, yeah.
It's just getting right to it now, Cade. You gotta join him in some of those shots to try to get to state. What is your mindset? What's going on kind of inside of you as you get ready for tomorrow night?
For me, I get in my head a lot, so going into races, I like to just think about it as another race and not worry about anything else that's going on. So, I hope to just go out there and have a good time and race well.
Yeah, having a good time usually means you raced well, because nobody has a good time having the worst day of their life. So, Coach, what are you preaching to the team right now, as anxiety, nerves can be high?
We've talked a lot about, and Miles said it here, hydration, making sure you're doing little things that you can be manageable for. And we haven't done a lot of it yet this year, but just visualizing that race, and that's going to be the message they get tonight on our Parent Square app. We're going to talk about visualization and finding some good spaces and just seeing you being successful and trying to materialize that in tomorrow.
Yeah, that visualization thing is like, maybe the first time when you hear something like, you're like, I don't know about that. But I will tell you, every time, when you can see yourself, then you're expecting it because you've already seen it. Yes. And it really is a powerful tool. So as you look at that, getting ready tomorrow night, do you have an idea of what success, you have a good chances at things, but from a coaching staff, do you have an idea of what a successful night would be tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think a successful night for us is going to be going out there, hitting all our handoffs, the guys running near season best or season best times, and performing to a level that they can be very happy with and satisfied with, knowing that that's the last meet of the year for those that don't qualify for state. And that's what you want for all your kids. You want them just to be happy and at peace with what they've done.
Yeah, and I know you work a lot with messing around with people being able to run different things, so at the end of the year, everything's ready to go, and you've worked towards that, and you haven't just been on a grind throughout the entire season. So, Miles, you've got a big race in front of you. Outside of your race, what you're running, is there a race or a person on your team that you really like watching compete?
I like watching Cade, of course, Carter, Preston, some of the relays, like the distance med, 4x4, 4x8, just kind of anything. Just watching everybody, really, like all my teammates are just really fun, just to kind of see how they've progressed throughout the years and how all their hard work is also paying off in their own way.
Yeah, and then, Coach, you look at these two here. Terrible students, they're very smart young men, great students, incredible kids. What is it like to have these as some of your team leaders?
Yeah, it's just been a joy to get to have them for 4 years. Mm-hmm. It's been a huge senior class, and these guys are just the epitome of teammates and leaders that we've got to have, that have put just a great example for our young guys and what it takes to be successful both in the classroom and in their activities.
And Kate, have you made a decision on next step for you, what you're doing after high school?
Next year I'm going to Iowa State to study engineering.
And Miles, you'll be running down at William Penn down in Oskaloosa. So a lot of opportunity, more kids going into college programs. But again, tomorrow night, big qualifying state meet down at Waukee Northwest. I may have oversold how miserable it was. I promise you, tomorrow night it'll be much better to go there. It's much nicer out than it was in the previous meet, but really expect some good times and some state qualifiers for the Bobcats. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the night with Coach Chad Pedic and girls track here on Bobcat Live.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live. Here we are at Wayward Social. It's been a fantastic night. Really have enjoyed the Bobcat Live in the spring. Coach, great to have you in on Bobcat Live. You made it in. Just came out of a running club here tonight working on that next generation.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Really love discussing. Here we are with Bailey Garland and Geneva Spitzley as well. Just a lot of young girl talent, especially in that sprinting capacity, as is evident with these two ladies. But as you look at this year where you're at and getting ready for state qualifying, how do you feel where you're positioned right now?
I feel like the girls have had a good year of training. They've done the work. We've asked a lot out of them between the weight room and reps out on the track and things like that. And they've done it all. They've had a good spring of training, and I think they've had a good week of practice since the conference meet last week. So feel pretty good that they're ready to give a good performance tomorrow.
Yeah, and Geneva in that hurdles just ran a 17.89 personal record, I believe. Hurdles are one of those things, like you look at a sprint, it's like, oh, I can do that. You look at running around the track a lot, like I may not want to do that, but I can do that. When you look at hurdles done well, I feel like I at least look at it with a sense of awe. How do people, the timing, the run? So how did you fall in love with hurdles, or did hurdles find you? How did that happen?
I've been hurdling since 7th grade. The only reason why I started is because I was tall, so I had an advantage.
That's why I never started hurdles.
Yeah. It was more than just sprinting. Sprinting's fun, but I like the technique and it's just a different type of practice.
And so going through that, and you can see it even meets the people that it almost doesn't even look like they're thinking going over. And other people you can tell when they're in that learning process. But when you're running that race, can you walk us through a little bit of that technique between going into the first hurdle and then in between?
Yeah. I make sure I take 8 steps to the first hurdle, and it took a while, but taking 3 steps between each hurdle. As you see shorter girls run, they might take less steps, but taking 3 steps definitely makes me faster.
And so, Chad, from a coaching perspective, and you got that technique, I got to take 8 here, 3 here, and Geneva is taller. Is that something that adapts to each hurdler?
Yeah, really it's the speed. If you generate the speed, it doesn't really matter your height. Newton's laws are always they still apply, and so we spent a lot of time on the speed in between the hurdles and generating the speed, and that's one thing that they've had to adjust to, is because they want to work on technique so much, but technique's only going to get you so far, and our motto is you can have the prettiest technique, but it doesn't matter if you're in last place. You just look pretty in last place. So we spent a lot of time working on the speed between the hurdles, and that's what allows them to 3-step and 4-step.
And so you say not wanting to look pretty in last place. So can you say what you've seen in the growth of Geneva to have great technique but not be way back?
Yeah, this group, this whole group, they're all sophomores, and they came as 5-steppers, and now they're almost all 2 or 3-stepping and 2 or 4-stepping. So they've made big improvements. We've ran the fastest shuttle hurdle we've run in about 5 years last week. So they're making strides. They're doing exactly what we asked them to do, and they get one more shot at it tomorrow.
That's fantastic. And I want to talk, Bailey, you definitely, again, in that sprinting category, just a freshman, right? Mm-hmm. There is a lot of young talent on your squad. But looking, you lead the 4x1, you lead the 4x2, and then you anchor the medley. what goes in? I'm always interested. What is going on in your mindset when you're leading it off versus being an anchor? Do you approach your runs differently? How do you look at them?
When I am starting off, usually I want to chase down the jersey that's ahead of me, and I use that kind of as a target. Like, I just need to get this girl, and then it's the next girl after that, and the next girl after that. When I am running in a 400, I think I more just want to go the fastest pace that I possibly can go instead of, obviously I want people to push me, but I want to push myself to the best I can before I let other people push me, you know?
Yeah, and so when you look at it, Chad, especially we're talking about, and of course there's talent in all four of the levels, but it seems from the sprinting capacity, there's some really quality young girls in that. Do you think by the nature of there being multiples that they kind of push themselves and each get to that better level, or what do you see with that young group of sprinters?
Absolutely. They work really well together. Of course, we've had Grace on here before, and state qualifier last year, and so she kind of was a nice role model for this young squad. But Bailey is not afraid to go toe-to-toe with her in practice, and it was probably our second week outdoors, and I said, you can go ahead and pass her. She won't be too upset about that. In fact, she'll be happy. And she said, really? I said, yeah, because it's just going to make the team that much better. Yeah. And so that's kind of been the mindset with this one. It's her first year out for track at any level. You wouldn't guess that. She has the responsibility of leading off relays, which is a pretty big responsibility for freshmen. But it was our second practice of block work, and we watched and said that's our leadoff right there. She's just explosive out of those blocks, quick to the gun, everything that you look for. And so she grabbed that spot and never gave it up. And then we found out she can run 400s too, so which she probably regrets letting us know that, but.
So were you just hiding your speed and running around in the dark in your garage, or what were you doing with all that speed?
I think that dance kind of gave me a lot of muscle for that, and I have done softball before, and I kind of knew I was a little fast. So when I joined track, I was really just excited to kind of show off what I could do.
Oh, that's awesome. And so, Geneva, when you think about tomorrow night and qualifying, do you have a personal goal for you tomorrow? Do you have something in your mind that you want to see? And then Chad will follow up what you see for a team perspective tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Our shuttle hurdle is pretty close. We did just run a season best, and we only have two and a half more seconds to drop that will make us qualify. So I think we have a good chance.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have a tough district. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But as we've talked for the last week, that gives us an advantage. You use that tough competition because you don't have to be first or second to make it to state. They take at-large bids, and if we use that tough competition, we have two choices. You can be intimidated by it and wilt, or you can rise to the occasion and let those high-quality teams push you to a state qualifier. We're racing against teams at 5 other districts. It's not just those jerseys in that stadium. There are jerseys all across the state that we have to beat. And hopefully we'll use those top 4 teams to beat some of those teams from around the state.
All right, Bailey, I'm gonna give you the last one. When you hear Coach say running against teams that aren't even at the meet that you're at, is that difficult for you to wrap your mind around, or do you feel pretty confident you understand how to execute that?
I understand. I think it's more. When I am racing against the ones that are in my specific race, I realize that other teams are racing and they might get a better time than us, but in the end it's more I want my team to do the best that they can all together, and even if that means a different team is going to beat us, then that's okay, because I know that if we push ourselves to our best abilities and we come and we just try our best and beat our last time, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow night. You've got a big opportunity to send some girls to state. Coach, final word. I'll give you the final word. Looking back at this season, has this met or exceeded your expectations?
Those expectations are still out there.
Yes.
All we ask for tomorrow is no regrets. That everyone walks away No regrets. And if your effort tomorrow was good enough to get to state, fantastic. If your effort tomorrow doesn't get you there, but you have no regrets about your effort, then we'll be happy and pleased. But we still have expectations out there yet.
Love it. The season hasn't reached the finish line, but we have for the spring season of Bobcat Live. It's been fantastic talking spring sports, even seasoned in a little bit of our summer sports coming up. Check in tomorrow night. We've got some KFJB After Dark. Brandon and I talk a lot of different things. We talk softball. We talk baseball. We talk the NCAA tournament. Thank you so much for joining us here at Wayward Social on KFJB-TV. Have a great night, all.